With me is Mr. Ramiz Yunus, political scientist, expert in international politics, and former correspondent for the Azerbaijani administration. Welcome, Mr. Yunus. Salam alaikum. Hello. I'm glad to see you in good health.
Alaikum assalam. Greetings to you. Thank you for the invitation. In return, I greet our highly esteemed audience. Glory to Ukraine.
Glory to the heroes. Thank you so much for being with us. To begin with, of course, I would like to start with congratulations. As is well known, May 28th was Azerbaijan's Independence Day. 107 years. Please accept our sincere congratulations. Azerbaijan is our friend without any doubt. We are very grateful and will always be grateful for the help and support that Azerbaijan and its citizens provide us. So once again, happy holiday.
Thank you, dear Yuri. It is very pleasant to receive these congratulations. I've been receiving them for the past several days already, starting from May 28th on all Ukrainian platforms where I appear, YouTube channels, TV channels, and separately, people send me congratulations in private messages, and a huge number of people post them publicly on my page. Of course, it's wonderful to see how closely our two societies interact. That is, historically, we have been together both in good times and in bad. And now, so to speak, our relationship is being put to the test. And it's very good and very gratifying that this year, on the eve of this Independence Day celebration, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, Andriy Sybiha, came to Azerbaijan. This hasn't happened in the last 3 years of Russia's full-scale aggression against Ukraine. It is highly symbolic. It demonstrates the level of strategic partnership between our two countries, between the political establishments of our countries at the highest level, at the mid-level, and overall at the level of our societies, our peoples. And it's no coincidence that it's appropriate to recall February 24th, 2022, when this aggression against you began. There was a huge rally with thousands of people. I don't remember ever seeing such a rally in the city center in front of the embassy of any country. And this rally was held in support of Ukraine in front of the Ukrainian embassy. The entire square was packed with tens of thousands of people carrying Ukrainian and Azerbaijani flags. It was a demonstration of support. At that time, no one yet knew how this war would unfold. But the Azerbaijani people who have gone through a similar tragedy, twice in fact, have experienced such a tragedy themselves. We had 2 Karabakh wars, so we understand very well what the Ukrainian people have been going through since 2014, after the annexation of Crimea, the massacre in Donbass, and now on top of that, the full-scale aggression. And that is why in difficult times, true friends are revealed precisely in adversity, in such challenging moments. And I am very proud that my homeland supports you at the highest level. And throughout all these years of war, Azerbaijan ranks first among the countries of the former Soviet Union in terms of the level and scale of humanitarian aid that Azerbaijan provides to you. And this is not only what is known in the public sphere. There is a huge amount that does not need to be publicized. But the very fact is, just look at the warmth and the level of communication between the presidents of our two countries and how warmly they meet everywhere. Your President Zelensky has not met with anyone else in the post-Soviet space as many times as he has met with the president of Azerbaijan at every platform where they cross paths. There has never been a single time when they were at some international event and did not meet. President Zelensky has not allowed this with any other presidents, including others. This once again demonstrates the level of strategic partnership between our two countries. It is also by no means a coincidence in this context to draw a parallel that on the eve of Azerbaijan's Independence Day, Armenia is also celebrating its own Independence Day, and Sergei Lavrov visited them. So the difference is that Andriy Sybiha comes to us, while Sergei Lavrov goes to Yerevan. And here it is very important to note, many people overlook this. Look, Ukraine and Azerbaijan are the successors of their countries as they existed before the Bolshevik occupation. Armenia and Russia, on the other hand, are the successors of the Soviet republics. I want people to understand this. That is, Russia is the successor of the Soviet Union. Armenia is the successor of Soviet Armenia as of 1991, while Ukraine and Azerbaijan are the successors of what existed 100 years ago. And it is very important to emphasize this. Do you understand? And when we understand this on a political level, then we will also understand what is happening in the informational and ideological spheres. And then it is no coincidence at all the level of support that Russia provides today, for example, to Armenia, because this began back in the times of the Russian Empire, was passed on to the Soviet Union. And today, despite all the difficulties happening in the South Caucasus and within Armenia itself, Russia still considers this territory its impregnable outpost. As for Ukraine, historically, Ukraine has fought for its independence during various historical periods because the presence of this territory within the Russian Empire, within the Soviet Union, provided a guarantee and a foundation for the existence of this imperial nature, yes. Because it is precisely the territories of Ukraine and Belarus that are very important, the main components of this empire. And it is by no means a coincidence, which is why Russia is clinging to Ukraine so desperately today and will continue to do so until the very end. And the understanding of what is happening on the Russian-Ukrainian front is very clear in the post-Soviet space and first and foremost in my homeland of Azerbaijan. And that is why we must always evaluate things from this perspective, especially when we congratulate each other, so that it is not just a routine greeting, just for the sake of formality, but we must delve into the substance of what we are saying. Today, this tragedy that has happened to you is happening to you, yes. And what my people have gone through during these two wars and our victory in the Second Karabakh War and the fact that we were the first in the post-Soviet space to succeed in restoring our sovereignty and territorial integrity. No one else has achieved this yet in the post-Soviet space. There is not a single Russian soldier on our territory. That is, everyone is talking about how Azerbaijan managed to do this, and we changed the status quo, and today we are truly an independent country, and in our independence, as you can see, we can even afford to speak firmly with Russia itself, which shot down our civilian plane, did not apologize, did not pay compensation, and did not punish those responsible. And the Azerbaijani president is taking a tough stance on this issue, both towards the president of Russia and the Russian political establishment as a whole. And we start tightening the screws. The Russian world was shut down, and a huge number of media outlets ceased to exist in our country. A few days ago, they shut down this so-called Tsargrad, which immediately continued its anti-Azerbaijani hysteria after the president of Azerbaijan publicly refused to go to the May 9th victory celebration in Moscow. And here again, look, Arushanyan went there and took part in it. In other words, all these nuances show that independence today is not just some word. In reality, it is achieved through blood. As they say here in America, freedom is not free. There's even a monument here with that inscription. Indeed, nothing in this world comes for free. And for this, we have shed a tremendous amount of blood. We did this 100 years ago, 107 years ago. And back then, it was precisely Russia, the Bolsheviks, who took it from us with fire and blood. After 1991, they tried to do it again, but thank God this time they failed. And since September of last year, 2023, you could say we have fully restored it. When the flag was raised in Kankendi a year and a half ago. In September, it will be 2 years since we fully restored our sovereignty and territorial integrity. And I wish for the day to come when, if I am speaking on air with you and other Ukrainian friends, inshallah, I will also be able to congratulate you on Ukrainian Independence Day. And at that moment, both Crimea, Donbass, and all other occupied territories will return to the legal framework of Ukraine. And then you will truly understand what independence means, and you will treat it like the apple of your eye, something that must be protected. For example, today, why is Azerbaijani society so strongly united? Because we do not want a repeat of what happened 100 years ago, when on April 28, 1920, the Bolsheviks came with the 11th Red Army. And that is why we will never allow this to happen again. The fact that on our Independence Day, two leaders of countries that supported us during the Second Karabakh War came to visit us, President Erdogan of Turkey and Prime Minister Sharif of Pakistan, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif of Pakistan. They came and it was a demonstration. Can you imagine this actually happened? They flew to the city of Lakin. Lakin is a sister city to Irpin. Irpin is what Azerbaijan is. Irpin is like a calling card of our relationship. Today, Irpin has been restored by Azerbaijan. I want you, dear Ukrainians, to know, go there if you have the chance, take a look. All of this was done by the Azerbaijani government, by the Azerbaijani people. You see, we support you precisely because our Lachin is our Irpin. For 30 years, it was under occupation. Look at what Azerbaijan has turned it into today in such a short period of time. And there, an international airport has opened. This international airport, 3 planes are lined up like this. In the middle is the plane of the president of Azerbaijan, and on either side are the planes of the president of Turkey and the prime minister of Pakistan. And there, clear and strong messages were delivered. The strongest, most powerful country in the South Caucasus, the leader, is Azerbaijan with its army. Next to it stands the second largest army in NATO, and alongside is nuclear-armed Pakistan. This is what we are demonstrating today. We are saying that we will never give up this independence to anyone again. I wish you a day like this as well when it comes to you, and that you will have your own Turkey and your own Pakistan standing by your side, both to your right and to your left. Azerbaijan will always be by your side. Once again, thank you very much.